The worldwide leader in sports, ESPN 95.3.
This hour of the Morning Rush is driven by Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale and online at rathmitsubishi.com. You're rolling with Rath on the Morning Rush.
Roads? Well, we're going, we don't need roads.
The name, image, and likeness has made it different. The kids all being free agents. Guys, I've 15 years, I had to retool teams every year. Started 5 freshmen in 15, I think. 5 freshmen, and we were in this tournament. Could you do that now? No way. There's just no possible way. Back then, you could do it. So now I'm having to get a little more veteran, but I'm not going to stop recruiting young kids because it's what moves me. Just going to have a few beasts that have beards and kids in the stands.
Trouble comes. Pringle open and jams it home. Ewan with a spin. Ewan with the finish.
Boy, Pringle feels energized to start inside. Chance for 3.
Malik Ewan inside, spinning on Sissoko off the glass.
Yeah, I don't know how we got that angle. Inside, wide open. Pringle right to the and 1.
Malik Ewan can't push the ball up the floor. He's so skilled, attacks, and he rips it down.
This is Morning Rush.
Well, Colton, you got your beast. You got your beast, man. Nick Pringle, first Arkansas player to sign in this upcoming class. Announces yesterday. I guess various reports have come out with that. You also saw Malik Ewan, who, by the way, was here on an official visit. Day 2, I think it was, when he announced his commitment, put a picture up on his Instagram of him in a Razorback jersey, and then sure enough, the reports came out after that flooding that he has committed to the University of Arkansas. It is a What's Your Beef Wednesday. I don't think many people have beefs about the 2 latest additions for this Arkansas basketball team. One is signed, sealed, delivered. Still waiting, I guess, on Ewan to finish that out. But What's Your Beef Wednesday, always brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market. We'll tell you about them and get into more of that coming up. But I do, again, it's our open. Start with this. You're going to have your freshman, Isaiah Sealy. Some of you know him, Springdale kid, really excited about him. And then you've got your 2 other 5 stars in Malik Thomas and Darius Acuff. And you added their bodyguards, if you will, Colton, the guys that will be defending them if they get roughed up. One guy's played in the league. Pringle's been around Alabama, South Carolina. And then you've also got Ewan, who had an outstanding year at Florida State last year, 14, I think 7, and shot about 60%. So these were the additions that Arkansas fans were wanting. You needed to bolster your front court with the loss of Jonas Adu, Big Z, and a good start for John Calipari in this upcoming recruiting class.
Not sure whether or not there are kids in the stands from Malik Ewan or Nick Pringle, but there are some grown men, and you definitely need those. Bodyguards is a good way to put it, Ty. You need somebody that can enforce down low in the paint. That's the way that Pringle plays. Ewan is a big body, so it's nice to have a little bit of extra physicality and experience coming in at the same time. That was one of those things that I think down the stretch later on, you had some younger players that weren't quite so built muscularly and hadn't had a couple of seasons in a college strength program, having to do some big things down the stretch. And now you've got some guys that have spent some years lifting weights, getting bigger, refining their game and the college ranks. And this is going to be a couple of really big gets for Coach Cal and crew.
And if you remember, I will give you a tie tidbit this morning. Are you ready, Tommy? Are you ready, Colton? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Hang on, let me put my seatbelt on.
Listen.
Hang on.
We were talking about Les Miles, and I'll bring this up. I don't often try to break news or report on something, but I will give you a tidbit. Nick Pringle will be the first commitment / signee for this Arkansas basketball program out of the portal. That is a tie tidbit.
Had a baby.
1 for 1.
Had a baby.
1 for 1.
Hey, those tidbits now have a little bit more substance than just, you know, pineapple tidbits.
Now,
These are real, man. Good stuff.
I don't shoot a lot. I'm thankful that you found that because I could not remember I could not remember what day I said that on, but thank you for finding that. 1 for 1. Thank you, Andy in Mountain Home, who takes the text here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline saying the first to call it. That's, again, I'm not going to report on things often. I just want to, if I'm pretty sure, like 90-something% sure, do that JT says to take a victory lap. All right.
Got some accurate sources, Ty. Are you hognonymous?
No, I'm not. I wish I was. All right, so maybe a beef of y'all's this morning is the fact that I had to bring that up, but, you know, I wanted to mention that. So let's get into a little What's Your Beef Wednesday, brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market.
What's Your Beef Wednesday on the Morning Rush is brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. No other meat market is in the same league when it comes to the selection, quality, and value you get from Richards.
Oh, God, it's so good. So good and tasty.
1 block east of College and Rolling Hills Drive at 3042 North Market Avenue. Online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com.
Ugh, I need a steak right now. Now that I got that grill, I want to take advantage. But it's not just that. We were thinking about doing a shrimp boil of sorts this weekend, fish fry, doing it so of that nature. Richards is the perfect place. So, again, tender shrimp, 16, 20, 31, and 35 count. They've got the potatoes, the sausage, the sweet corn. They've got it all. You're looking for seafood, salmon, cod, and more. Plus, they've got the best steaks, the Petit Jean hams, the house-made seasonings. They've got it all. Easy in-store or curbside pickup. Just call 479-443-0000. You can swing by the 1 block east of College and Rolling Hills Drive in Fayetteville. Or again, call 479-443-0000. All right, beef of mine. I found myself, and I get so frustrated at myself at times. I get angry at other people too. Part of this business is just to know things like off the bat you can remember stuff, and there are like obscure facts or national championships or Heisman Trophy winners or NBA Finals appearances that I just know, like it's ingrained in my head. Go. But for whatever reason, knowing someone's name, I can tell you details about them. I can tell you what high school they went to. I can tell you where they grew up. But when it comes to the most important part of a person, which is their first name, that occasionally slips me. So I'm having a conversation with my neighbor yesterday who was like the sweetest lady in the world. I could tell you her 2 dogs' names. I could tell you her son's names. And for the life of me, I couldn't remember. And so I avoided actually saying her name. And then after the fact, as soon as I left the conversation and got done mowing my lawn, I remembered it. I was so angry at myself from time to time. So I have found that in interactions with either people I don't see enough, on a daily basis, or that I'm having to write down people's names in my notes app. It is the most ludicrous, and there's a lot of dumb things I have to do just because, and I don't know what the deal is with my brain sometimes, but I legitimately have to write down people's names and characteristics in my notes app so I don't forget. That's bad, and it's so frustrating how, again, the simplest thing about a person is their name, and yet, Colton, it occasionally just slips. Called it a brain fart yesterday. I talked to my parents. I was like, "Hey, can you remember?" And then it hit. So,
well, Ty, when you rub elbows and you meet a lot of highbrow people, just everybody that you're networking with all the time. Well, no, I would say that it can be a little bit difficult to remember names. Putting them in your notes app is a pretty good thing. I'm surprised you don't just write it on your little Zodiac killer hieroglyphics that you transcribe every day on your calendar. But it is very impressive that you are willing to admit that you forgot their name. With a man and with a guy, it's a little bit easier. You can go years without knowing somebody's name if you really want to. You can always hit them with the big dog, the brother, the guy. With a woman, you don't want to be disrespectful because they will eventually pick up, but they will eventually pick up that you don't know their name. So tread carefully with that. And did you end up finding out her name?
Yeah, I did.
Did you ask her?
No, I didn't do that. It just snapped into place about 10, 15 minutes after the conversation. BE in Clarksville texting in here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline saying that he's not a name person either. I've been told, repeat it back to them with what they tell you. That is a good way. That's a good mechanism to go about that. Let's see. Cement Head texting in, when your wife spends money on Temu and TikTok on stupid, you know what? That will never be used. That is his beef.
That TikTok
this morning
is pretty dangerous. They are really good at marketing stuff. I've had my finger hover over the purchase now button and luckily backed away. But I know what Cementhead's talking about right there.
Well, another beef of yours should be. So
oh my
Tommy
God.
Tommy was here this morning. And I didn't know if he was going to make a surprise appearance and do the show with us. He's not. So it's a beef of all of you that he's not here. Yeah. And I completely understand it. It's definitely a beef of yours because he stuck you with me. But he did assure me that he's going to be back doing the show on Monday. So for everyone listening, I promise the show won't be at half strength for the dawn of time, the rest of eternity. It will just be till Monday. So for your own sanity and for everyone else listening, you'll have Tommy back come Monday.
Well,
so that's good.
It's definitely, I always forget, I started around this same time. I started here at ESPN Arkansas around this same time last year, and I always forget that like April through July, Tommy is a whole different creature. He's like always on the go. He's thrown his razor out. He's tanned up and nice. So it was good to see him popping around here this morning. But my beef, Ty, why in the absolute world would you choose to take one of the busiest times of day to shut down one lane of traffic on I-40 to fix something on the bridge? I am taking my Tragedy of the Commons, doing the same route that everybody else has to take on I-40 to get down here from where I live in Alma to the station. And it usually takes about 20 minutes. Well, this morning it took about 40 because at 6 o'clock in the morning when everybody's trying to get to work early and things like that, there's lane closure. There's no wreck. They're not doing any serious work. They're not laying extra asphalt or anything like that. There were just some guys standing around drinking coffee. That's my beef this morning, is that me and 1,000 other good, hardworking Arkansans were probably late to our job that started at 7 o'clock because people were standing around.
You did say that you were going to get here early this morning.
I did, and I Christian's in there doing half of my job for me, cutting up Sam Pittman clips because I was supposed to get here early, and I can't because I don't even know. Those people work a lot harder than me, and they are, more of a man than I will ever be, but they were standing around when I was trying to get to work.
Well, we do have a Sam Pittman clip or two to play for you this morning.
The ones we're hearing about are not, high on the depth chart. Disgruntled maybe because of where they're at on the depth chart.
That was an answer to the question about maybe some Hawks that could hit the transfer portal, which, by the way, opens today. I know, again, the good basketball news. This is not like I'm not trying to put a negative spin on this, but you will have some guys hit the portal on the football team. Some that you, as Coach Pittman just referred to, you kind of expect because where they are on the depth chart. And then there's probably going to be some others. And I'm not trying to be glass half empty this morning, but that you were excited about, like I was after this past fall, and that hit the winter one, and that are leaving. That's just how it is in today's age of college football and college basketball and other sports. I'd also like some assurances that the basketball team, whether it's Carter, Billy, I know Billy put that Snapchat up. Again, you got to follow these kids' social medias nowadays, but I'd like to kind of know publicly about the guys that are currently on the roster that are coming back and everything else. But maybe that's just another beef here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday. If you've got one this morning, you want to talk about the two additions for Arkansas basketball, if you had something that maybe stood out in Sam Pittman's press conference yesterday, baseball team throttled UAPB last night, we'll get into all that this morning. We're brought to you by Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance of Riley Farms. They provide every type of dental care and procedures for you, your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nuys work to give all their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Farm Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms, now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com. That's valleyfamilydentalpractice.com. Let them know you heard it on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snort guard. I mentioned Arkansas yesterday and their success last night. Man, the Alloy brothers just keep bashing it.
Here's a 1-1. A blast by Alloy. Hanging changeup drilled up in the air, way out to left field for another home run. Second of the inning, third of the game, number 11 for Kuhio Alloy, and they've broken it open 10-3.
So they combined, Colton, yesterday, 7 of 10 at the plate.
Yeah.
7 of 10. Vahiva Alloy moved into number 1 of home runs of this baseball team with 13. Not much of a game. Again, a 10-run game that ended in the 8th inning. The real games begin this weekend against the Texas A&M Aggies, which Dave Van Horn talked about after yesterday's win.
To me, it wouldn't have mattered if they were playing great or struggling. I know how talented they are. They have most of their players from last year back. Get the pitching staff back. They did lose their third baseman to an injury early in the season. Brought in a couple of good players from other schools. I read a comment right before the season started because they were number one in every poll. They had the most talented roster in Division I baseball. They're good. It didn't matter if they were struggling coming in here. We weren't going to look past them. I'll guarantee you that. They're going to be a big-time challenge. They're really good.
Won a lot of games lately, Colton. So while they were preseason number one, they've dropped off a lot. This is still going to be a mighty test for Arkansas ahead. And it's, by the way, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We'll see what shakes out the weather this weekend, but that's your setup here in the next few days.
Yeah, it's a little bit different this time around with the Thursday start. That's how it's going to look like for the rest of your home series. They're all going to start on Thursday, so that's interesting. But like Coach Van Horn said, A&M, they were picked to be, the cream of the crop at the beginning of the season. Some injuries, some things changed. They're obviously dealing with, their coach going to their rivals. So it's things are a little bit different there, but they still have the guys. The Jimmies and the Joes are still around up there in College Station, and you have to feel confident that this game is being played in Fayetteville. I think that maybe Coach Van Horn is going to tinker a little bit with the rotation, him and Hobbs. They might see Gackle come out of the pen as opposed to starting, but then, who do you stand up there on a Saturday or on a Sunday? So they got some question marks sort of right there. I'm not worried about it just because of how well, the Aloy brothers and Camden Kojal have just been swinging the bat. I think that this offense is still high-powered, and it was on display last night. Obviously against some lesser competition, but those guys can swing it, and I think that this series against the Aggies should be one, hopefully an all-timer this weekend in Fayetteville.
And hopefully you get a chance to go one of these next few weekends. I know that between the Aggies, the Texas Longhorns, and the Tennessee Volunteers, you've got 3 great series ahead here in Baum-Walker Stadium. Sandwiched in between those are the Florida Gators in Gainesville and the LSU Tigers in Alex Block Stadium in Baton Rouge.
To mention, Ty, there's also 2 midweek competitions, 2 midweek teams coming in that one of them whom has already beat you this season in Missouri State, and then you also get Euler coming in, and they beat Ole Miss yesterday.
Yeah,
so
that was awesome, wasn't it? I didn't see that until you added it to the game notes, but how about the Trojans defeating the Rebels yesterday? You gotta give them some props for that.
Yeah, it was a big win for them. And Ole Miss, they've sort of had an up-and-down season. That's still a good ball club, but the SEC, just during those midweeks, you've seen some teams kind of falter a little bit. Arkansas has stayed strong for the most part, bearing that one, bad outing against Missouri State. But, man, the SEC this season has just been, as dominant as they've ever been. And I don't imagine there being any less than, 4 teams in Omaha from this conference.
You want an update on Nico Iamaleava? You want an update?
Brace for impact.
Brace for impact. So apparently Tulane is pulling out of the Nico Iamaleava sweepstakes, according to Pete Nakos, who has apparently earned a raise and a contract extension from On3 Sports from his reporting. Initially, I'm going to read one of the quotes from his story. They were seeking a deal in the $4 million range. I'm assuming this is from his dad. And On3 reported that Tennessee was like between 2.2 and 2.5. If he doesn't get between the 3 and 4, he's now going to be open to a deal closer to $1 million. Tulane.
He's the first college quarterback, first college player to ever go on sale. Teams are waiting for him. Teams are waiting for the Iamaleava markdown special right now. Unbelievable that it has gone to this level. This is a kid that had a chance to be a starting quarterback at a team that's probably a playoff contender next year.
Back-to-back college football playoff
and
team,
you're
most
just
likely.
and your greed, and just because you have the ability to make a little bit extra money, you think that you deserve it, and you're willing to throw it all away.
Here's my thing on this. So if the reports are true and the dad is the one that's spearheading this, I think a lot of us have good relationships with our fathers. I have a really good relationship with mine. He has not led me astray in 30 years of life. I haven't always agreed with him, but like after the fact or after something's happened, I'd be like, okay, that's why you said that. That's why you did this. If you trusted your dad to get you to this point, and now it's coming apart, at least it looks like it is, like, what do you do if you're this kid? Who's, by the way, I mean, you could say he's still a college kid. I mean, I always like to say the dumbest years of your entire life are from 18 to 22 years old.
Retweet.
And so all the time we ask our youngins, daughters, sons, to listen and heed their instructions from their parents. If it's dad is the one that's telling, what do you expect the kid to do? right?
Yeah.
That's my whole thought on this.
And I'm 100% for that. The thing is that I don't know if Dad's ever completed a pass in crunch time against Georgia when it mattered, and I know that Nico probably has.
Yes.
It's a little bit different. At some point,
Tennessee fan would tell you he hasn't either.
Well, at some point you just have to realize that as a player, you're the one that's out there making the play, and it's not about your name, your image, or your likeness. It's about pay for play. So if it's all about your skills, you're the one that's got it there. So trust yourself, and if you're gonna bet on yourself, well, at least make sure you have a good hand.
Colton is currently mowing his options in the transfer portal right now based on his success here.
Yeah, I'm sure radio stations are waiting for me to go on sale.
We got all these different entities now. You never know. Hey, we're brought to you this morning by the Fence Man. We'll get back into our Fence Man Friday picks with Sean later on this week. You can always give him a call at 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936 for the Fenceman. Sean can help you with anything commercial, residential, repairs, you name it, he can do it. The Fenceman, he ain't afraid of no work. All right, continuing on our text here this morning on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Isaac in Mount Ida, back to the me forgetting names story, says, if I meet you once, I'll remember your face forever, but I will forget the names of family members. Thank you, Isaac. We are on the same wavelength there. And again, it's not a disrespect thing. I feel like I'm being disrespectful for forgetting, so I try to go out of my way to remember. Well, B was talking about like repeating the name over and over, or me writing it down in my notes app. It's just it is so frustrating to me that I can name and remember so many characteristics about someone and yet forget their name. Luckily, I can tell you that Chris and Lee J are the ones that can help you out at Wheels RV. I haven't forgot those names. I promise, Chris. I promise, Lee J. I haven't forgot you guys. Wheels RV, they're named best of the best like every single year. Come see why. 5 miles west off exit 72 in Springdale. They've got Grand Design, Forest River products, the Brinkley RV. They've got it all. Plus, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty to help you camp with confidence. Stop in and see why again. 5 miles west off exit 72 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV. When we return, Cal was at practice yesterday with the good news. We're going to hear from Sam Pittman, Dave Van Horn, and more on your Hog Update on a What's Your Beef Wednesday.
What's Your Beef Wednesday is brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. Online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Mega Millions now has better odds, bigger prizes, and the highest starting jackpot in America. Top prizes start at $50 million and increase rapidly until someone wins. What else is new? How about no more break-even prizes? Win anywhere from 2 to 10 times your bet. And the multiplier? It's no longer an add-on. Mega Millions is always $5 per play, bells and whistles included. Play today in stores or on the go. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for problem gambling helpline.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by 2 of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Richmond on the offensive end, pick and roll, big C, and a two-hand flush. The assist from Richmond. Couldn't draw it up any better.
This is the Morning Rush.
You looking to revamp your closet? Tired of wearing the same old stuff? Hey, Ty Richardson for Roback, one of our new partners here at ESPN Arkansas. Hoodies, joggers, polos, you name it, they have it. Thankfully, Roback is licensed by the University of Arkansas, so you can add to your Razorback collection. Here's the best part. Because you're an ESPN Arkansas listener, you're going to get 20% off your first order. Just use the code RUSH25 at Roback.com. That's RHOBACK.com.
It's time for the Rath Rod Replacement Sale at Rath Auto Resources. Right now, bring in your old car and get up to $3,750 above appraised market value for your trade. Take advantage of over $20,000 in recent price reductions on our road-ready certified pre-owned inventory, inspected and reconditioned in our on-site Meineke Car Care Center and backed by a comprehensive warranty. It's the Rath Rod Replacement Sale all this month at Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com.
I'm ignorant when it comes to a lot of topics. Thankfully, I listened to my friend's advice on the housing market and called Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. Jeff made the process smoother than Mama's gravy.
Ty, you got to throw in some homemade biscuits with that gravy and a great local real estate professional to guide you down the right path. One of the keys is knowing what to do and certainly what not to do.
You communicated and were transparent throughout the process.
Ty, like you, anyone can call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. For your big decisions, I have simple solutions.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Hey, Ty Richardson, I'm with my friend Ethan Adamson. Ethan, I know you're a wizard here at First Financial Mortgage, but you do okay with the sticks as well.
Yeah, I've been playing golf since I was 5. I've been in the golf game for a long time.
Question is, what are you better at, golf or lending?
I have to say equally both. I've used golf in my career to kind of help propel it as well. I used to prepare hard with golf. I do the same thing in work. Call 479-782-9300. Weekdays 8 to 5. FFB1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Crane Team is your home for all your automotive needs in the River Valley. With 2 big Crane, Kia, and Hyundai locations in Fort Smith, the Crane Team has the perfect vehicle for you. From pickup and delivery to service after the sale, plus our famous huge Crane Cash discounts. The Crane Team simply can't be beat. Shop Arkansas's largest selection of Kia Tellurides, Hyundai Palisades, Sorrentos, Tucsons, and more. Visit us today or shop online at craneteam.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
There's only one Razorback.
Uncle Tommy loves the Razorbacks. Razorback fans, let's stand up and call those.
107 down.
This one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Ball's on the ground, picked up by Colin. Alex has got room.
By Woo Big Suey. This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Nope, there's two factors. One is how much money do you have to sign however many guys. That's always a factor. Because of depth and things, we'd like to sign some guys on defense. So that number probably would be 5. You know and I know that there will be guys that go into the portal, not only that are in there that we're trying to get, but there'll be some guys going to the portal, and then that number will change. But if we kept the entire roster.
That was Sam Pittman yesterday talking about guys that they might add in the transfer portal. And nowadays, again, you have to factor in money to the equation. The transfer portal opens in college football today. It is going to be a frenzy when it comes to not just SEC coaches, but everyone else. Now, you from a basketball standpoint, you've got some portal news with 2 recent additions.
Malik Ewan can push the ball up the floor. He's so skilled, attacks it, he rips it down.
Florida State's Malik Ewan, who was on an official visit in person, committed yesterday. Nick Pringle, who evidently, I was reading this in Whole Hog Sports, didn't take an official visit, but signed and committed to the University of Arkansas basketball program. So that's the big news on the basketball side of things. You needed to, again, add to that front court with Jonas Adu and Big Z going out. So good news for Cal and Arkansas basketball. And I don't know if you saw the video that Pig Trail Nation put out, Colton, but Cal was at football practice a little bit yesterday.
I did see that. Yeah, he was chatting up Coach Pittman. I wonder what those conversations were about. I have some inklings just about, maybe how some of the transfer portal stuff worked out, the money, and how maybe, the new GM kind of worked into the conversation. But it's nice to see. I love it whenever our coaches get together outside of, their actual, job descriptions, and they're just doing it for the heck of it and just coach speak. I love it and think that's great.
Again, one of my favorite pictures is Eric Musselman, Dave Van Horn, and Sam Pittman after Pittman and company beat Texas A&M back in 2021. That was quite cool. We did get an update, and it's an unfortunate one about Nolan Susie yesterday. Here's Dave Van Horn after the 13-3 win over UAPB.
I would say he's probably done. It's pretty well torn. There's one a year. We get one a year. It's every year. It's kind of sad because it should never happen because he shouldn't have run. That's what hurts. If it just happens, it happens. But the way it all went down, it was over like that. You couldn't stop it.
So the good thing is you won by 10 runs yesterday and didn't even finish the game because of run rule. Bad thing is, again, Nolan Souza sounds like he is out for the season. One of Arkansas starters they had. So we'll see how Arkansas, again, replaces and does that spot. I know that Camden Kojal and also Reese Robinette were talking about Susie yesterday. Here's what Cam had to say.
Souza, he's a very tough kid. Very tough, always happy. To see him walking off the field like that, it was weird. Like, you don't see Suze like that, but he's been good through the process. He's a leader on the team, and I don't think that changes just because he's not necessarily in a playing role right now. You can still be a leader off the field like that. And we've been talking about how to get him on a fishing pole, like how he's going to cast with his left and maybe use his wrist or use a cane pole or something. But he's a trooper. He's a great teammate. After that injury happened, we got in a circle. We prayed for him. You never want to see a friend and a teammate down like that. It'll all be okay.
Matt Jones of Whole Hog Sports asked Cam yesterday, it's like, how many times did you fish yesterday? He goes, twice. So this kid, I know it's Clay's talked about it, but this is a guy that always seems to be fishing and hitting the way he's played. He had another home run yesterday.
The pitch to Kozel is just smoked way back to right field. Out of here.
So he continues to have success for the Arkansas baseball team. All right, that is your Hog Update. It is always brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
So what's your beef Wednesday? Brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market. Our friend Robert Mann at the Stadium Shop has a beef this morning. Robert, you are on the morning rush. What's up, man? Long time no hear.
Yeah, I've been busy, but I've got two beefs, and they both are regarding baseball.
Okay.
Okay, one of them is we've only had one day on a weekend series where the weather's been good, and I'm sick of it. I need some good weather for baseball weekends. This rain and cold is getting old.
Which we have some rain this weekend as well, unfortunately, on Saturday. Friday looks good,
Yeah,
Saturday's not.
Yeah, and that's going to ruin us. I mean, it's going to be cold, and it's going to be rainy and windy, and it's just going to be not good. But the other thing is, why are we playing our last three weekends on Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
That is a good question.
I hate that. We need to be everybody. The away games are Friday, Saturday, Sundays, but the home games are Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, and you know it's going to rain.
I don't know how the SEC determines that, to be honest, Robert. I know that you've got three great series to end your season with Texas, LSU, and Tennessee, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe Chuck knows why they do that, or Clay, because I don't. I do think that's an interesting thing, because I think it's easier for fans to get away on Friday, Saturday, Sunday than it would be on a Thursday.
Yep. So that's my two beefs, and that really hacks me. But we need some good weather. This is getting ridiculous,
Well, I don't blame you for having those beefs. Appreciate your call. You want to jump in here? Lewis Automotive Group hotline open 877-377-6963. Maybe you need something to cheer you up. Well, I've got the perfect thing. Andy's frozen custard. I'm a cookie dough concrete guy. What's your go-to, Colton?
The brownie batter.
The
Delicious.
brownie batter. So whether it's stopping in at Fort Smith, 2 locations in Conway or in North Little Rock, you can take advantage of a delectable treat here on Wednesday. Satisfy your sweet tooth by stopping and getting a Pick 6. Mix and match 6 of your favorite flavors for a treat for you and the family. Swing by Andy's Frozen Custard today, Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, 2 locations in Conway, and JFK Boulevard in North Little Rock. Walk up or drive through, they're ready to serve you.
What's Your Beef Wednesday is brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. Online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by 2 of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Mega Millions now has better odds, bigger prizes, and the highest starting jackpot in America. Top prizes start at $50 million and increase rapidly until someone wins. What else is new? How about no more break-even prizes? Win anywhere from 2 to 10 times your bet. And the multiplier? It's no longer an add-on. Mega Millions is always $5 per play, bells and whistles included. Play today in stores or on the go. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
And I got to figure out, excuse my French.
This is the morning.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
The dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for betting on all the madness. Even if your bracket is busted, BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with a free Sweet 16 bracket and live betting on every remaining tournament game. With the largest selection of odds on everything from college basketball to MLB, NHL, and MMA, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every Cinderella story to every hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Get luxury without the splurge with Taco Bell's new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. There's the $5 Classic box, the saucy as ever. The $7 Supreme box, packed with decadent favorites. And the $9 Discovery box brings new indulgences like toasted cheddar street chalupas. It's the Lux you want for less. Choose your $5, $7, or $9 Lux Cravings box only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
So let's take you back to the concrete streets. Original beats and real live MCs. Playground tactics, a rabbit and a hat trick.
Introducing the Azalea
So let's take you back to the concrete streets. Original beats and real live MCs. Playground tactics, a rabbit and a hat trick.
Built for comfort.
So let's take you back to the concrete streets.
Check out our
Original
latest
beats and real live MCs. Playground tactics. So let's take you back to the concrete streets. Original beats and real live MCs. Playground tactics. A rabbit and a hat trick. Just that classic rap shit.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores.
And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Carpat Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Kristen's Place in Lowell online at carpatsocial.com.
Did you know about the lifetime pass in MLB baseball? I didn't. Apparently, Jason Grilli used it to go to a Paul Skeens Pittsburgh Pirates game either yesterday or the other day. The lifetime pass was first given to President Theodore Roosevelt, which allows the holder and a guest to go to any regular season MLB game they want, free of charge. It's awarded to players, managers, coaches, and umpires by the commissioner's office when they reach 8 years of the MLB service, according to The Athletic. Again, did you know about...
'Cause I've got a golden ticket.
Did you know about it? I'm reading this yesterday. I'm like, I am flabbergasted. I'm blown away. I had no idea this existed. Did you know about the lifetime pass called in the MLB?
Yes, I did. I thought it was cool that it's like, I have read that somewhere, just in passing it sometime, that, you do get that eventually during your service in the MLB. I didn't know that it looked like an Amex card, that it's just like you can put it in your wallet, that it's cool. I think that's a nice way to do it. What would you, as your question going to be, what would you use a lifetime pass for?
Yeah. It's like that was the kind of the start of the question. And the next question is, what would you use a lifetime pass for? What sporting event? If you had a ticket to go anytime and anywhere, some are every year, some are multiple games inside of Bud Walton Arena, multiple games inside of Baum Walker Stadium or Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium, what would it be? As a basketball fan, now I don't like, again, how it's set up and playing in football stadiums, but if I had a quality seat, mine would be the Final Four every year. Mm-hmm. San Antonio, it's in Indy next year, it's in Vegas. I think East Dallas is one of the locations, which I'm guessing that's or East Texas. I'm guessing that's Dallas, but mine would be the Final Four. That sporting event is, I've been to a bunch of NCAA tournament games over the years, but the Final Four would have to top if I had this lifetime pass golden ticket.
I think the Masters is slowly creeping up my my list after last week of things that I would definitely want to have on my bucket list. I don't know if I'd want to have a lifetime pass to go every single year, but I've only been to one NFL game in my whole life, and I was sitting, in the nosebleed. So I think a lifetime pass to any NFL game I would be pretty cool. But if I had to choose, I'd say
Given
a
by
lifetime
Roger
pass.
Goodell himself.
Yeah, I'd love. Well, except for another beef of mine, except for the Dolphins, I would rather not have to watch them in person. I'd rather gouge my eyes out because they're going to let Jalen Ramsey walk. Anyway, I would say that a lifetime pass to the Super Bowl would be pretty cool. I would like to have a rider that it is a sideline lifetime pass because I want to be close to the action. I want to get my leg broken by an errant player coming over.
There you go. So what lifetime pass would you want to utilize and take advantage of for a sporting event? That's our Cart Pass Social Morning Rush daily question. Always, again, brought to you by Christian Nate's facility. That's awesome. They just had their first ever Masters Invitational. They're always doing different events. They're hosting corporate events. They're hosting birthday parties, or just the friend group or the family that wants to go and have some fun on a weeknight or on the weekend. You can do that. Check out cartpasssocial.com. Facebook, Instagram, they put up really cool videos and have some awesome photos as well. Don't have to wear golf attire. They have rental clubs both left and right, and it's an awesome place. 122 Grant Place in Lowell, cartpasssocial.com. It's always BYOB at Cart Pass Social. To the phones we go. Ryan's in Huntsville this morning. He has I guess a beef with the Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. Ryan, go ahead, man. You're on the Morning Rush.
No, I was just going to answer your question about why they're doing it Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Even better.
This weekend it's Easter, so they skip Sunday ball games for Easter this weekend. Just happens to be a home series. There is a TV series the next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and it's made for TV. And then the last weekend of the year is always Thursday, Friday, Saturday because of the SEC. Baseball tournament. So that's it just felt weird this year for us that we ended up with three series, the last three home series being Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
And as someone that seems to be in the know on this, Ryan, it's pretty typical Dave Van Horn likes to be on the road before going to Hoover, right? Like it's having a series to end in Fayetteville is not something they're typically accustomed to. If I'm right on that. I believe I'm correct on that.
Since I've been keeping up with baseball, it's happened twice. We had a Alabama series, I don't know, it's been several years ago, that we ended up losing the last game of the series at home. And then this one, there's only two. Usually we're on the road at the last game because, I think DVH likes to be able to already be on the road and just go to the hotel there in Hoover and get ready for the SEC tournament.
Ryan, are you going to make it to any of these games these next few weekends? You got some good ones with the Aggies, Longhorns, and Vols coming into town.
It'd be a lot of fun. My birthday weekend is Tennessee weekend. I would love to make that. That would be a great one to be at. I'm close enough that, it's easier for me to go to the weekday games, so I think that would be fun to make one of the two Euler games. So that would probably be the best chance for me to get to go would be to one of those two.
Well, make sure you're listening. We might have some tickets. I know we often give away some weekday tickets here on the Morning Rush, so just make sure you keep tuning in. We'll see if we can get you one of those games for free, okay?
Awesome. And one thing, if I was going to have a lifetime ticket, I think it'd be to the College World Series. I mean, it's in Omaha every year, so you'd be in a set location. You'd know where you were going. And, man, that's always a lot of fun baseball.
You know what? It's funny you mention that because one of our partners, Jeff Hodges over at Foghorns, him, a guy named Brownie, and I think one or two other guys often go to the College World Series, even if Arkansas is not in attendance. There's some other Arkansas fans, Ryan, that will attend and just hope that Arkansas lands there. And if they don't, they'll go because Omaha is a really cool. You've got Creighton there in town. You've got some good restaurants and bars in the area. Kyle Peterson gave us this great local spot. I think it's Dinger's, if I remember the right burger spot, but that is a good choice. And I don't think I'm reading our Lewis Automotive Group text hotline. And I'm not seeing that on there. So I think that's a good thought on your part.
Yes, I think that'll be fun. And it's always hard to get tickets because a lot of people that are locals, they get in the lottery and get them every year, and so to have it set up to where you're automatically going, whether the Razorbacks make it or not for free, hey, that's great.
And it sometimes, I'm going to guess, I don't know how much they pay, but it costs a little bit. Well, Ryan, we appreciate you calling in, man, and hopefully you get a chance to go to one of these baseball games here in the coming weeks.
All right. Thanks, guys.
You got it, buddy. Darren and Alma texting in here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. A lifetime pass to the golf majors for him. Greg in Fort Smith would love to go to Bristol. Lifetime pass. J18 Hot Springs says all 9 days to the Daytona 500. And then Hog Dog wants a lifetime pass to the NFR. Help me what the NFR is. I was thinking that was bull riding, but
National Finals of Rodeo, I think.
Okay, all right.
That would be sick. Watching
is that
those.
Houston?
Let me see. I can look it up.
Is that
yes,
Hog?
it is. Yeah,
It's in Houston.
Looks like it is. Yeah, that would be fun. Watching rodeos in person is awesome. That's a really good underrated choice there by Hog Dog. I like that.
Okay, that we've gotten some good ones. Good Cart Fast Social Morning Rush daily question. Hey, this morning we are brought to you back by APAC and Standard Materials Group. Whether you're looking for a turnkey solution for your construction projects or just top quality aggregates for asphalt, ready-mix concrete, they're going to have it for you. Large commercial job or a small residential project, they have you covered at APAC. No job is too big or too small. Do you need expert advice? Their construction consultant services ensure you're always on the right track. Call them, 479-587-3300 for all your rock, asphalt, and ready-mix needs. APAC and Standard Materials Group, 479-587-3300. All of that under one roof at APAC and Standard Materials Group. All right, back to the big news from yesterday for Arkansas basketball, which is the announcement of signing Nick Pringle and also the commitment of Malik Ewan. You've got two guys that are going to be just big men, front court players, and this is again one of the things that I was wondering about is like what kind of style of big men Cal would go after with the loss of Big Z. Would he go after kind of that like stretch 4-5, which Big Z is? Not that he doesn't have some post moves in an arsenal down low, but he's not exactly the most physical guy, the most physical specimen, even at like what 7'2", 7'3", whatever he is. This is the route that coach is taking, and I personally like it. I wouldn't even mind if they added one more front court piece. Mm-hmm. I do wonder, like we haven't heard Colton anything from the guys outside of Adu Thero, Casimir Chavis, Melo Sanchez, and Boogie Flan, which are public, but you haven't heard anything from Carter Knox, Billy Richmond, Trevin Brazil, and some of the other guys that you're expecting to come back, but I know a lot of things can change, and I think it's through the 22nd or 23rd is when the basketball transfer portal closed, and I don't have this will be a question for Richard Davenport coming up off when the limits on when you can enter your name in the NBA draft.
Yeah, and I think that there's if DJ and if Carter Knox and if TB and if Billy, if these guys were leaving and they were transferring, I'm not sure that you land some of these, transfers like a Malik Ewan and like a Nick Pringle, because those guys that are coming into a new situation, leaving, a good spot at schools where they probably can get some money and actually be taken care of and play and contribute, they're not going to come to Arkansas if it's not going to be worth their while, and that's to compete and win a championship. So you got to assume that there's going to be some holdover and things like that. Ty, you mentioned how, you might want another big man. I'm really comforted in this because I know that throughout this year, getting Kenny Payne, who's kind of been a big man whisperer at times, helped, and definitely we saw Trevin Brazil progress and develop more this season than he did all his entire first career here without Kenny Payne. So you're bringing in two big guys that are kind of play different roles. One's a little bit more finesse and one's a little bit more bang down low. I think it's just going to be a very, very good and versatile offensive attack from your front court, and I'm comforted by these two pickups out of the portal.
So you've got the three freshmen, the Kareem Murtal kid, Ewan, and Pringle. 4 spots remaining for this roster, depending on if the 5 guys, Brazil, Wagner, Knox, Richmond, and Carloletta stay on campus. As we continue on, it is a What's Your Beef Wednesday. It's brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market. You want that shrimp boil? Well, this is the perfect place to stop in and take care of it. They've got the tender shrimp, potatoes, sausage, sweet corn, all ready to go. They can do it mild or spicy. Just know it's going to be packed with Cajun flavor. Plus, they have awesome selections of salmon, cod, and more. The prime meats, Petty G hams, and house-made seasonings. Just call 479-443-0000. That's 479-443-0000. Swing by 1 block east of College and Rolling Hills Drive in Fayetteville. That's Richard's Country Meat Market, proud sponsor of What's Your Beef Wednesday. Richard Davenport coming up.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Mega Millions now has better odds, bigger prizes, and the highest starting jackpot in America. Top prizes start at $50 million and increase rapidly until someone wins. What else is new? How about no more break-even prizes? Win anywhere from 2 to 10 times your bet. And the multiplier? It's no longer an add-on. Mega Millions is always $5 per play, bells and whistles included. Play today in stores or on the go. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
This is the Morning Rush.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell.
It's time for the Rath Rod Replacement Sale at Rath Auto Resources. Right now, bring in your old car and get $3,750 above appraised market value for your trade. Take advantage of over $20,000 in recent price reductions on our road-ready certified pre-owned inventory, inspected and reconditioned in our on-site Meineke Car Care Center and backed by a comprehensive warranty. It's the Rath Rod Replacement Sale all this month at Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Valley Family Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment, or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
April showers bring May flowers, which brings June heat. Remember the June heat with the air you can wear? Mike Blaylock with Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning. We offer the highest efficiency home comfort system on the market today with the York Affinity Series. So for all your high efficiency heating and cooling needs, plumbing and drain cleaning, get a red truck rolling your way today. That's Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning in York. Give us a call at 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
ignorant when it comes to a lot of topics. Thankfully, I listened to my friend's advice on the housing market and called Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. Jeff made the process smoother than Mama's gravy.
Ty, you got to throw in some homemade biscuits with that gravy and a great local real estate professional to guide you down the right path. One of the keys is knowing what to do and certainly what not to do.
You communicated and were transparent throughout the process.
Ty, like you, anyone can call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. For your big decisions, I have simple solutions.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
The Newmeyer family is a mainstay in Fort Smith, and their newest restaurant, the Whippoorwill, has so much to offer. Friday night catfish, good. Tuesday nights, kids 10 and under eat free with an adult meal purchase. Don't forget about Whippoorwill for every Hogs game with their massive projection screen. For catering options, call 479-769-2095. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Newmeyer family.
ESPN Arkansas weather. KERX, Paris Fort Smith. You're listening to The Morning Rush, only on ESPN 95.3.
I will give you tied to by Copsy.
This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
The name, image, and likeness has made it different. The kids all being free agents. Guys, I've 15 years, I had to retool teams every year. Started 5 freshmen in 15, I think. 5 freshmen, and we were in this tournament. Could you do that now? No way. There's just no possible way. Back then, you could do it. So now I'm having to get a little more veteran, but I'm not going to stop recruiting young kids because it's what moves me. Just going to have a few beasts that have beards and kids in the stands.
Trouble comes. Pringle open and jams it home. Ewan with a spin. Ewan with the finish.
Boy, Pringle feels energized to start inside.
Chance for 3. Malik Ewan inside, spinning on Sissoko off the glass.
Yeah, I don't know how we got that angle.
Inside, wide open. Pringle lays it in and one.
Malik Ewan can't push the ball up the floor. He's so skilled, attacks and he rips it down.
This is Morning Rush.
So I've got some good news for you as we start hour number 2 here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday, brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market. Don't know how many beefs you have concerning the basketball team, considering that John Calipari helped land 2 guys yesterday. Nick Pringle, former Alabama Crimson Tide, South Carolina Gamecock, Wofford Terrier, that committed to Arkansas and signed yesterday. And then Malik Ewan, who's on an official visit and also committed as well. 2 big guys, big presence in the front court. I know Arkansas fans are excited about. We're excited to have you with us here in hour number 2. Also excited to chat with Richard Davenport coming up in just a bit. It is a What's Your Beef Wednesday. We've gotten plenty of texts thus far here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline on beefs. You want to get them in, go 877-377-6963. They always have the steaks at Richard's Country Meat Market, but did you know that they have everything you need for that shrimp boil at Richard's Country Meat Market? They've got the sausage, the shrimp, the potatoes, the sweet corn, and they can make it mild or spicy with their seasoning for that perfect Cajun flavor. Salmon, cod, and more. Always the top choice in prime meats, Petty G hams, and house-made seasonings. You can stop in store or curbside pickup. Just call 479-443-0000. That's 479-443-0000 for Richard's Country Meat Market, just 1 block east of College and Rolling Hills Drive in Fayetteville. In addition to the basketball news, baseball won pretty handily yesterday.
The pitch to Kozel is just smoked way back to right field. Out of here.
13-3. Softball team won 7-0.
That one's drilled deep left, and it's gone for Bree Ellis.
They won in Conway, beat the UCA Bears. So 2 outcomes for the Arkansas baseball and softball team as well. Sam Pittman with the media yesterday talked a little bit about spring ball and everything else, including the spring portal, and how he's not a fan of kind of where it sits right now.
There's a lot going on. Do I wish that we would have one portal? Yes. I think it's very difficult after you've gone through a spring to find out what's your team going to look like after spring ball, and then the portal opens. The portal opens whenever you're, the 16th. So whenever you decide to have your spring over, I just think it's very, very difficult. Not only do we, the state, need to know who's on our football team and what kind of football we have, the players themselves need to know who's on the team and who's going to stay with the team. So
that is something that he has to figure out along with the rest of the staff. All right, it's time to talk to our buddy Richard Davenport here on the Lewis Automotive Group Hotline.
Do you know what the preservation room is for?
Delicious jams and jellies.
No.
Richard Davenport on the Morning Rush is brought to you by House of Webster. From the heart of Arkansas, House of Webster delivers top-tier jams, jellies, and sauces with a flavor you can't find anywhere else.
All right, RD, let's talk on the two basketball guys first. You got a commitment from Ewan. You got a sign-in from Nick Pringle. What are these two guys bring to John Calipari in this upcoming basketball season?
Both of them are more of the traditional in the paint, around the paint type guys. You could kind of compare what you've lost to what you've gained. At least I do. And, Z obviously could hit the three at times, and he blocked a lot of shots. Neither one of these guys are going to block a lot of shots, but they do have skills inside the paint. And then Ewing, he's got a little bit of a guard mentality, the way he can, he can go to the basket. He's pretty agile, but both of them, I think, are really good pickups. Obviously, they got SEC experience with Ewing playing at Alabama, and Pringle at South Carolina and Alabama. No, excuse me, Ewing at Ole Miss. Excuse me, and so. It was a good day for Arkansas. Again, I think scoring-wise, I think both of them can hurt the opponent with their offensive skills. One thing about Pringle, and I remember Pringle when he played against Arkansas. I was really impressed with him overall, just the way he seemed to have a good motor, and he averaged 10.5 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 2 steals against Arkansas in the 2 games last year. So, like I said, it's a good day for Coach Cal, and be interesting to see what else happens after this.
I don't know if you were at practice yesterday, but what did you think of the videos you probably saw of Cal with Pittman at practice?
Well, I guess Cal thought, heck, I earned this. Let me go talk to Sam and just have a little bit of a little break from recruiting and stuff. So about that time, I think Malik had headed to the airport, so that nobody was on campus. So he was. I think he was in a little bit of a celebration mode.
Richard, do you have any sense? Could you give our audience maybe a behind the curtain? I know, like, Muss used to walk through with players, like, hey, this is how we're going to feature you offensively. This is how we envision you in our system. Any idea of like what a recruiting visit like Malik's did looks like under John Calipari?
Well, pretty much the same. I mean, because when I talked to Malik after his visit, he said that I asked him, several questions, obviously, but the first question I asked, why the interest in Arkansas, and it was because of Coach Cal and the style of play, and then I asked him, after the visit, why he thought it was such a good fit for him, and he thought style of play, and he thought that he was gonna get see the ball quite often and be able to do his thing. So I think he was pretty much impressed with what they said, and I'm sure they obviously had been talking before, but when you have a kid on campus, he wasn't on campus for 48 hours, but for almost 2 full days, you're really able to, focus on that and show them film and things of that nature that maybe you do, some things that he did, because he was more of a traditional down low guy, too. So I think with Malik, I think all that played into his decision. But I mean, they cover everything. I mean, nutrition, strength and conditioning, education. I mean, there's nothing that they don't cover when a kid visits, even transfers.
I should be numb to this by now, but you kind of alluded to Nick Pringle's background: Wofford, Alabama, South Carolina, now here. Malik started at Ole Miss, JUCO, then goes to Florida State, now here. I was reading this story about A.J. Storr, who Arkansas played in the round of 64 game at Kansas. He had 4 different high schools, and now he's on his 4th different college. That's just the world we live in now, isn't it, RD?
Oh, and I posted on our board about a kid, and I've forgotten the kid's name, but I mean, it was really alarming how many high schools and colleges he's been to. Let's see. Okay, let me look at it right here. Okay, this kid is going. He just entered the portal. He's going on his 14th school.
Wow!
When you combine high school
Holy
and colleges. And he's just leaving Central Florida. He was committed to, I guess, Syracuse and Oregon at one time during his recruiting process for obviously college, and he started at Pitt. I mean, 14. I mean that's alarming. That's sad. I think obviously people around him, adults, have just haven't done a good job. That is really, really sad.
Yeah, Richard Davenport's our guest. Conversations with RD also always brought to you by our friends at House of Webster and Rogers. We'll tell you about them coming up. Richard, you got 4 roster spots left. You got the 5 guys on campus: Brazil, Wagner, Knox, Richmond, and Carvaletta, and then 2 guys coming in, Pringle and Ewan, plus the 3 freshmen in Ratal. What are you expecting for the 4 remaining roster spots for Cal and what he looks for in terms of a composition of a player?
I think 2 more transfers as far as guys that this is just an educated guess. 2 more transfers that that they expect to hopefully try to get some playing time out of, and a couple other guys for practice. So that's how I would guess that it's going to play out. But anything can happen, especially with transfers. I mean, obviously we still waiting on Nate Ament to make his decision. So he's a possibility. So, but that I think it's kind of in the ballpark of what you're looking at.
Speaking of transfers, Richard, how about the job that Dave Van Horn and his staff did on evaluating transfers this offseason? I mean, you think about the guys that have made up the roster thus far of the number 2 team in college baseball. Man, him, Thompson, Wernes, Coach Hobbs, they really hit the mark, didn't they, on bringing these guys in?
They usually do hit the mark, but I think the mark elevated with these guys that have come in. I mean, I think that they probably figured these guys are going to come in and contribute and play well. I don't know if the expectations for them to play as well as they did, and that's the bonus. I mean, that makes it's kind of like Florida winning the national championship in basketball. All those guys, putting all those guys together, you probably saw several of them exceed what the coaches thought they would do, and then when that happens, that just takes you to a different level. And I think that's what you're seeing in Arkansas baseball this year.
Yeah, they have just been unbelievable in fielding, hitting, and pitching. They look as a completed team as Dave Van Horn has had since he's been here in 2003 as the official head coach. RD again, our guest, Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Richard, more news on Nico Iamaleava. Apparently Tulane is out of the running for him. What's the deal? Like, you've talked about relationships you've built with these kids before, and oftentimes you'll bring up a father. Like I know you're still close with Ronnie Wingo Sr., or Ronnie's dad, I should say. You built a relationship over the years. Like when you see potentially a parent, I don't know all the facts or anything, but it sure seems like it's his dad that's kind of leading the way. When you see this go wrong, like what's going through your mind over the course of this saga?
I think sometimes people don't think things out, and they I mean, let's face it, when you throw in money, I mean, that obviously complicates the whole situation. It's not like it was obviously 5-10 years ago. It's just totally different. Supposedly he was pulling in $2.5 million, and they got a little greedy, and who knows, maybe they'll be able to get close and get back to what he was making at Tennessee. But I think sometimes you need to be very cautious about your actions and think things out before you make the decision to put a kid in the portal. And let's face it, when you're a 21 year-old young man or young lady, the vast majority of your decisions are based on what your parents advise you to do.
Yeah.
Other adults advise you to do. You don't have the life experiences to say, hold on, Dad, I don't know about this. Some kids might be able to say that. I don't know if Nick had any kind of say in it or not, but obviously the adults at this time appears have failed him, and that's unfortunate. But in 3 or 4 or 5 more years, he'll have a stronger opinion about things concerning his career, and it's unfortunate because this is it's got to be tough on the family and the kid right now.
Richard, let's close out our conversation with this. We've talked a lot of basketball, football, spring practice. You've got the spring game this weekend. Portal opens today. What does that look like on a timeline standpoint here in these next couple weeks? I think the basketball one closes on the 22nd. And then maybe what are you looking for Sam Pittman to go after in the portal here in these next few days based on what you've heard from him?
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, he's said it a couple of times that their focus is on defense. Mm-hmm. Defensive line, probably adding a couple of guys there, and add some more in the secondary. Really focused on at the safety position, but at the same time, a lot of that depends on how much money you're able to distribute and the asking price for some of these kids. So. But at the same time, I do think that that's the focus. But I think that there's a possibility they could add another linebacker, and then I think, and they're looking at receivers now. Will they add one? I don't know, but there's no doubt that there's a possibility of other positions being added. For other positions offensively, I think they're done. Other than maybe the receiver position, but what I just said about linebacker, I think those are the 2 positions that you could see, receiver position that you could see an additional transfer in if things don't go well for the other positions.
Richard, we'll leave it there. Appreciate you joining us this morning. House of Webster, always a great place. Jams, jellies, salsas, you name it. I was talking to Mike this morning. They've got something else they're cooking up. When you think about Mother's Day, think about Cinco de Mayo, some holidays coming up. This is the perfect place to get your mom something or a friend something here in spring and summer. HouseofWebster.com. That I'm telling you, I know, a lot of people know that they're gonna love.
Yeah, well, I'm out of cherry preserves because
You eat it all?
I finished that off too fast. That was oh my gosh, that was good.
It's outstanding. Again, they have it houseofwebster.com. You can stop by and see them in Rogers. They've been doing it a long time, over 90 years. That is houseofwebster.com. Always love to bring you Richard Davenport here on the Morning Rush. RD, I know you're busy, so we'll let you go. Hopefully we'll hear some more good news about the basketball team here in the next couple of days with commits. And then also for the football team, I know there's going to be some topsy-turvy stuff that happens in the next week or so. Hopefully it's not players that are going to impact this next incoming season like we've seen before.
Sounds good. See you, buddy.
All right, great stuff from our friend Richard Davenport, as always. Baseball-wise, not a lot to take away from a 10-run game, but I did find it interesting. Dave Van Horn went in a little bit about Gabe Gackle and Gage Wood. Listen to his comments.
Okay. Yeah, you'll probably see Gage not in the rotation to start.
Okay. Do you get Gage Wood back this weekend?
There could be that possibility. We'll know tomorrow for sure.
Interesting. So you might see Gage Wood back and Gabe Gackle out of the starting rotation. He'll still pitch, but this was more of what Dave added on about Gabe Gackle.
He gets all these preseason accolades, and they're not for calling him preseason this and that. But it was all about his relief pitching. Let's see how it goes from here.
So maybe that's a role, Colton, that he relishes and is better in. I don't know. I think the expectation was he was going to be your alpha pitcher this year, and instead it's Zach Ruth that's kind of taken on that role. Curious to see if there is a change, what that could do for him in these next few series.
Yeah, they found their Friday, or I guess now Thursday for most of the series. They found their number one starter in Zach Root, and I don't think, like you said, they anticipated him to be that number one guy. But like Coach Van Horn said, all these accolades that we had seen and that were bestowed upon the kid from California, Gabe Gackle, earlier this season were because of his relief work. And so sometimes as a pitcher, that's just where you're better. That's how you get more juiced up. That's just kind of how you fall into the rotation of where things go. And I think that's okay because of the fact that they have plenty of arms in that bullpen. It's why you pay a little extra. It's why you get extra funds to give money to Will McIntyre to stay for a little bit longer, a guy that has experience doing every single thing possible as a pitcher in this program. And it's why you have guys like Colin Fisher and Tate McGuire that have ate up innings in the midweek so far this week that can go out there and get outs, and that's really what this team needs, just to get outs so that high-powered offense can get back up to the plate and drive in runs. So I think that, Ty, you cut all the audio from the post games in the morning and you send them out to us. Dave wasn't really at all pleased with the 10-run win last night, and he seems like he's pretty engaged about taking care of business this weekend.
Yeah, Texas A&M. Here's more of what he said about the A&M series coming up.
And we came out and we played decent. And we can move on to the weekend and look forward to A&M coming in. I know they're super hot, won 5 out of their last league games, so we'll have our hands full.
Classic baseball coach, win by 10 runs, you played decent. But I'd rather have that standard with Arkansas baseball than something else, which is kind of funny. We got a text here from Troll Monster in Missouri saying, my guy Ty, you should be solo. Troll Monster, Missouri. No, I should not be. I'm ready for Tommy to be back here. He was here earlier this morning. He's going to be back with us on Monday. Apologies for everyone listening. Apologies for Colton Little. The football portal opened today, and Tommy is looking at options elsewhere. Hopefully he doesn't.
If he does, you think we'll retire his jersey like Shedeur and Travis Hunter? Tommy would deserve a jersey retirement here, but
20 years. One of the main comment I heard Phil talking about this yesterday, like Cordell Stewart doesn't have his number retired.
There's tons of players in Colorado, people that mean a lot to that program that don't have any type of any honor on that stadium anywhere within that program.
If you want to say Travis Hunter because he
that's
won the
fine,
Heisman.
he won a Heisman. But what did your son do, Dion? Couple of maybe above 500
Maybe
seasons.
That was one of the reasons.
You beat Colorado State twice. Attaboy. Yeah, retire those jerseys. It's ridiculous. What do you think the Buffaloes are going to do whenever Dion's gone in a year? They'll be back to the bottom of the barrel.
I'm guessing that might have been an undisclosed stipulation that wasn't in the contract. That was part of the what do we call it in the industry? The added value. I know that we occasionally have to do that here, but I'm guessing to retain Deion Sanders. That happens. Hey, speaking of value, you're going to find it at Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith and Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. And one of the things that I really like about just having conversations with Larry and David, either on air or off air, is just their relaxed nature. Sometimes you step foot in a dealership and there's a salesperson or sales lady or manager or whoever that is just up your you-know-what. And that's honestly annoying. That doesn't make you want to buy a vehicle or look at a vehicle from there because it's like you want to be comfortable. You don't want to feel like you're being hotboxed or anything. And both those guys and the rest of their team members have that kind of same mentality. It's like if you're interested in something, we'll show it to you. We've got their Facebook. They've always got the weekly specials on both of their Facebooks. They're always running stuff that you can check out one of their road-ready certified vehicles pre-owned, both in in Springdale and in Fort Smith. But that's just the nature of the car buying business isn't always like that. But I think you're going to find it different and unique at Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith and Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. When we return, we'll talk more about Nico, your SEC update, also get into something Dari Noka said as we continue on a What's Your Beef Wednesday edition of the Morning Rush.
What's Your Beef Wednesday is brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. Online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com.
Mega Millions now has better odds, bigger prizes, and the highest starting jackpot in America. Top prizes start at $50 million and increase rapidly until someone wins. What else is new? How about no more break-even prizes? Win anywhere from 2 to 10 times your bet. And the multiplier? It's no longer an add-on. Mega Millions is always $5 per play, bells and whistles included. Play today in stores or on the go. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for problem gambling helpline.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours, even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play, but it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters in auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
Aloy drives it towards left field, hit deep, to the wall, out of here.
This is the Morning Rush.
Attention business owners. Are you overpaying for your website? Dropping thousands up front and shelling out more than $95 a month? Stop the madness! With Modular Orange, you get a custom-built, fully managed website for just $95 a month. No hidden fees, no headaches. They write it, build it, launch it, update it, and secure it so you can focus on your business. Ditch the overpriced hassle and go simple. Visit modularorange.com today. That's modularorange.com.
I'm ignorant when it comes to a lot of topics. Thankfully, I listened to my friend's advice on the housing market and called Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. Jeff made the process smoother than Mama's gravy.
Ty, you got to throw in some homemade biscuits with that gravy and a great local real estate professional to guide you down the right path. One of the keys is knowing what to do and certainly what not to do.
You communicated and were transparent throughout the process.
Ty, like you, anyone can call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. For your big decisions, I have simple solutions.
The Newmeyer family is a mainstay in Fort Smith, and their newest restaurant, the Whippoorwill, has so much to offer. Friday night catfish, good. Tuesday nights, kids 10 and under eat free with an adult meal purchase. Don't forget about Whippoorwill for every Hogs game with their massive projection screen. For catering options, call 479-769-2095. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Newmeyer family.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
Hey, do y'all know what time it is?
It's about 2:30.
Summertime?
It's that and a whole lot more.
And no matter what's happening, the Stadium Shop has what you need.
We have the best selection for showing off your Razorback spirit while on vacation, even Razorback swim trunks.
Graduations, anniversaries, birthdays, we have what you need for your event.
And we have what you need for that trip to Omaha.
Even a new line of hard shell luggage.
Also, Omaha tees, flags, bases, loaded hats, and the boppers.
And you can get them here at the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium. Or you can check us online at those WWNs.
Dad, let me do that before you hurt yourself. He's talking about our website, shoponrazorback.com.
And if you can't reach us there, call us at 479 Stadium.
All from the only family, alumni-owned and operated Razorback store.
South of the North Pole.
Dad, please.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go
Hawks.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America. The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas is the SEC champion.
You know, every game is a dogfight. We're about the toughest there is. Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
The Hawks have finally the first SEC tournament championship for Arkansas.
Where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
I will give you a tie tidbit this morning. Are you ready, Tommy? Are you ready, Colton? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Hang on, let me put my seat
I don't
on.
listen.
Hang on.
We were talking about Les Miles, and I'll bring this up. I don't often try to break news or report on something, but I will give you a tie tidbit. Nick Pringle will be the first commitment / signee for this Arkansas basketball program out of the portal. That is a tie tidbit.
I just want to say I believed in you and Tommy didn't.
Yeah, I was mocked, chastised, ridiculed for my opinion where I had a good source, and it actually came to fruition. I'm even surprised a little bit. But
who was your source?
Number one rule of sources, never reveal it. But good news, Arkansas gets the signing and commitment from Nick Pringle, and then also the commitment from Malik Ewing. I found it kind of interesting that like these, I don't know what other paperwork. Again, I don't know. Better question for RD what that process looks like behind the scenes. Either way, these are two guys that have SEC experience that other SEC programs wanted that are now going to be Arkansas Razorbacks. It sounds like Nico Iamaleava is not going to be an Arkansas Razorback. His brother Madden is, but he's not. I don't know where he's going to land. I don't think based on what's happening, Colton, I don't think he's going to wind up in an SEC school, not just because the spring portal rule, but I just don't know if he's an SEC level quarterback. I think what happens sometimes, and this is the exception rather than the rule, more 5-stars pan out than they do flounder. But every once in a while, there's just like a misevaluation or a kid doesn't get in the right spot and it just doesn't work out. I think this is a situation where it's not going to work out. I never saw it from DJU. I know he had a decent season at Oregon State, but I didn't see it at Florida State. I didn't see it at Clemson. And those ACC better than whatever the last bit of the Pac-12 was. I just don't think this kid is gonna end up being this incredible quarterback that he was made out to be.
Yeah, and I think the rules state that he actually can't transfer interconference, no matter how much SEC Mike wanted to gaslight us into believing that he'd be packing his bags for Fayetteville the other day. Ty, you said it. I don't think he's a high-level SEC quarterback. I think that he was a good fit in Heupel's system. That's not to say that he won't find some success somewhere else, and maybe he can't get back to this level in the day that college football is now, where he can go somewhere else, get a little bit better, put some numbers together, and then come back to football at this level. But if you're getting passed up by Tulane, and that's not to say Tulane is at the bottom of the barrel anymore, but if you're getting passed up by Tulane,
a good non-Power 5 program.
If you're getting passed up by Tulane, which is what you said, Ty, that's one of the best programs outside of the power conferences, that is there. If they're passing you up, then Muncie, Indiana, Ball State fans, get ready to learn how to say Iamaleava.
Muncie, Indiana, you pulled that one out.
I don't think it's Muncie. I just picked an Indiana town that might have a college.
Okay, well that might be it. Sam Pittman and company getting ready for their spring game. One of the schools that actually is participating in the spring game. They're also in the midst of portal searching. Portal open in college football day. It's been open in basketball. Here's Coach yesterday talking about the guys trying to get out of the portal to number 2.
There's two factors. One is how much money do you have
to sign however many guys. That's always a factor. Because of depth and things, we'd like to sign some guys on defense. So that number probably would be 5. You know and I know that there will be guys that go into the portal, not only that are in there that we're trying to get, but there'll be some guys going to the portal, and then that number will change. But if we kept the entire roster...
That's kind of what he had to say about the portal yesterday. Other news in the Southeastern Conference, you mentioned this. I didn't know this. Little Rock knocked off Ole Miss in baseball last night. Congratulations to the Trojans. Otega Owe is entering his name Kentucky forward/guard in the NBA draft, but he's still maintaining his NCAA eligibility. I still wonder, I haven't gotten clarification. Maybe I just need to ask someone in the athletics department or whatever on Adu Thero, Colton, if he's maintaining his eligibility or not, because I didn't see that in his post. I don't know if he's just completely moving on or what the deal is there.
Well, for him, it'd probably be a good idea to keep your eligibility, just because you never know. You know, I think that the NBA and the allure that comes with playing with the best of the best, and look, if you've got scouts that are telling you, man, you can get to this league in just a couple of years, then I don't know why you wouldn't take that opportunity. But now in today's college basketball time, I mean, look, there was reports about how many schools are paying upwards of $10 million in NIL. Arkansas's on that list. So you know there's going to be a little bit of money for Adu Thero if he wants to come back. But like you said, there's a little bit of a timing issue now. It's, hey, when is he coming back? Do we know? And that's probably why it's taken so long for us to get some of these transfers in, and people were chewing their fingernails off and waiting with bated breath, is that we really just didn't know. But now that these first 2 have come, it's going to be a domino effect. And I think we should see and hear more or less what the plans are for people that we're going to hopefully retain and who else we could be adding, because they still need some outside shooting.
Speaking of drafts, NFL draft a week from tomorrow in Green Bay, Wisconsin. We're lucky that Andrew Armstrong, former Arkansas wide receiver, is going to join us. And from the stuff I've seen, I don't know how he's projected as late as he is from a guy that had an outstanding season. I realize there's variables that NFL owners and GMs and scouts look at that we're not actually looking at every day. But if you watch a guy that had 1,000+ yards, one less game because of the injury he sustained, so he didn't play in the UAPB game, which he probably had 200 yards in that. I don't see it. So I'm going to ask him about that tomorrow. I'm excited for him to join us. All right, that's your SEC update, brought to you by Arts Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith off Rogers Avenue. They have it all. They've got the burgers, they've got the barbecue, and they also have some lighter options as well. You can do the grilled chicken. They smoke all their meats in-house, ham, turkey, and everything. So you can take advantage of that on your salads as well. Brennan and I, last time me and Brennan Surstein went, I got a salad. It was fantastic, and I don't make a habit of that. But I'll tell you, if you get a salad at Arts, you're going to love it. Don't forget, $1 off burgers every single Saturday. That's Arts Barbecue and Burgers on Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith. You've got somewhat of a beef here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline with Disappointed Sports Fan. You and him differ on the
beef.
Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter.
I don't think that I eloquently stated my my case, because I'm a rookie. I'm still getting used to doing all this and making it sound intelligible here. I would say that, to Disappointed Sports Fan, he's upset that he thinks I'm bashing Shedeur Sanders, which I'm not. I think the kid's got a better future in the league than a lot of folks are giving him credit for. To me, it just seems very high school. It just seems like this is a kid that's getting not necessarily the starting role, because he obviously earned that through his skill, but the accolades and the extra nods and things like that. Look, Dion is a very polarizing figure. He's been great for Colorado. He's taken them from, the gulag of college football and brought them back to what appears to be, national prominence again. So props to him for that. But to say that Shedeur Sanders deserves to have his jersey retired before a Cordell Stewart, or I just forgot, Rashaan Salam or somebody like that, it's almost blasphemous. And I think that that's the only reason why is because Shedeur Sanders' coach is also named Sanders.
I think there's some truth to that. Well, apparently, speaking of nepotism and relationships, so Steve Belichick, for those who don't know, is Bill's son. He's also Coach Belichick's defensive coordinator at UNC. And apparently, Jordan Hudson, Bill's 24-year-old girlfriend, has taken on the role of chief operating officer for Belichick Productions. And part of the statements and stuff that are being put out, I think this is from The Athletic. She's trying to limit the slanderous commentary of people that are going at Bill Belichick for their relationship and other stuff and being called a predator. And then also for that she doesn't want like nepotism to be thought of when it comes to Steve Belichick and that, and in emails obtained. I think this was from The Athletic. I clipped this. I forgot the source, but I think it's from The Athletic if I remember that right. So that seems to be happening now. And she's on the field at practice or whatever, taking a big role. If I was a player, I'd probably get distracted, but who knows? Who knows?
That's an interesting thing. I was surprised. So it's the chief operating officer of Belichick Productions. Is that what you said?
Yes.
That's
her
that's a nice
email
role.
signature.
I didn't know if she had
identifies that.
I didn't know if she had some sort of role. It's on her email signature. Man, she works fast. I didn't know if it was going to be some sort of one of those, titular type of roles, just the director of culture. Titular meaning title. Yeah, something like just director of culture, just a throwaway role. But she's a chief operating officer. She's their PR person, is what you're saying, trying to make sure that no one gets after Bill for him, liking younger women, and then for his son apparently getting the job. That's unfortunate. You have to have somebody that's running PR for you for that. But look, I watched the propaganda that North Carolina football put out just the other week. It might have been what Belichick Productions made. I'm bought and sold. I think North Carolina is going to have a good season, and I'm here for it. So you can consider me rooting for the Tar Heels.
Okay, I guess we'll find out. Hey, we're brought to you by Pradco Fishing and LureNet.com. Listen, made right here in Arkansas. If you're looking for the best lures, you can find them with Rebel, Yum, Booyah, and more. The great thing about LureNet.com is you get deals that are exclusive and baits you're not going to find anywhere else. Free shipping on all U.S. orders over $35. So treat yourself or your favorite fishing buddy to some new tackle box treasures. Check out LureNet.com today. That's LureNet.com. All right, we continue on the Morning Rush here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday. And brought to you by our friends at Richard's Country Meat Market. I know people, again, are excited about the two additions. Nick Pringle and Malik Ewan. We'll talk more about those guys coming up. Baseball team wins emphatically yesterday. Dave Van Horn focused on the series ahead against Texas A&M. We'll close out with that coming up in just a bit. We are brought to you by Farm Credit of Western Arkansas. Do you want to spruce up your existing home, or you want to start from the ground up? Either way, check with Farm Credit of Western Arkansas before you get started. Find out why for more than 100 years, Farm Credit of Western Arkansas has helped local families like yours make their dream homes come true. Visit myaglender.com or visit one of our 25 locations today. We close out a What's Your Beef Wednesday, brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market next.
What's Your Beef Wednesday is brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. Online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Yeah, I can't sleep at night. I got the shakes.
This is the Morning Rush.
Have you heard? TGI Fridays is having happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 till 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. to close with half-price drinks and $5 select appetizers, including potato skins, spinach dip, pot stickers, and much more. Plus, you can get in on 50-cent Wing Monday from 5 p.m. to close. And karaoke on Tuesdays and Thursdays starting at 8 p.m. It's all at TGI Fridays, I-540 and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
Picture it. It's a day like any other. You're stuck in traffic on Rogers Avenue during rush hour. You're just ready to get home and relax with your family. And then, just like that, your life can change in an instant. and you're going to need a lawyer to make it right. I'm Phil Votaw with Phil Votaw and Associates. If this happens to you, call me 479-434-6200 or online at votawlaw.com. I'm Phil Votaw, and you've never met a lawyer like me.
This Mother's Day, show your love with something sweet, like the House of Webster's handcrafted fruit butters. Don't forget Cinco de Mayo. Spice things up with our bold, flavorful salsas made right here in Rogers, Arkansas. Whether you're shopping for mom or preparing for a Memorial Day picnic, the House of Webster has you covered. Check out our gift shop or visit us online at houseofwebster.com. See you soon.
Delicious jams and jellies.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
Hey, do y'all know what time it is?
It's about 2:30.
Summertime.
It's that and a whole lot more.
And no matter what's happening, the Stadium Shop has what you need.
We have the best selection for showing off your Razorback spirit while on vacation, even Razorback swim trunks.
Graduations, anniversaries, birthdays, we have what you need for your event.
And we have what you need for that trip to Omaha.
Even a new line of hard shell luggage.
Also, Omaha tees, flags, bases, loaded hats, and the boppers.
And you can get them here at the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium. Or you can check us online at those WWNs.
Dad, let me do that before you hurt yourself. He's talking about our website, shoponrazorback.com.
And if you can't reach us there, call us at 479 Stadium.
All from the only family, alumni-owned and operated Razorback store.
South of the North Pole.
Dad, please.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go
Hawks.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
It really is a great feature that we have here at ESPN Arkansas. I mean, you can listen to it anywhere. I'll be in Nashville, Tennessee next week. I'll be listening to all 4 shows. Show's probably going to be great next Friday when I'm not on it.
Did you get a snack? What'd you eat?
A crackle. We've got candy in the office. And I got Phil's donuts. Yeah, we do need to refill the candy jar. I got Phil's donuts that need to take advantage of. Well, speaking of taking advantage, don't take advantage of your cell phone while you're driving. Put it away. Between 2011 and 2020, more than 32,000 Americans lost their lives. I'll be honest, I've driven distracted. I'll put my hand up here on our video stream. Research shows that younger drivers, i.e. me, were more likely to use their phones while driving. The result, 8%, 8 of all traffic fatalities are now linked to distracted drivers. So what can you do? Remove the temptation. Put your phone away or put it on Do Not Disturb. There's no excuse for putting other people's lives at risk with distracted driving. Remember this, in Arkansas, put the phone away or pay. It's paid for by the Arkansas State Police Highway Safety Office. Again, Arkansas wins pretty easily yesterday.
Here's a 1-1. A blast by Alloy. Hang and change up drilled up in the air, way out to left field for another home run. Second of the inning, third of the game. number 11 for Kuhio Aloy, and they've broken it open 10-3.
And it ended up being 13-3. The Aloy brothers combined to go 7-10, and now you've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday against Texas A&M. Colton, the question is will they play on Saturday? Being that the weather, it's supposed to rain. I was looking at, and I'm an Apple weather app guy, so I realize it's not the best, but it's the easiest. The precipitation says it's going to last till 3, and then there's some later on from 7 to 11 o'clock. The game on Saturday against the Texas A&M Aggies is at 6:30. So there's going to be rain early on in the day and rain early on that night. So I'm curious to see if we have a doubleheader on Friday.
On Saturday, it says that it's at 4 p.m. on the schedule. Are you looking at the same schedule?
So looking on Friday? Yeah.
I'm looking at the same schedule in front of me. So that's the Saturdays at 4 p.m. It's Thursday, Friday,
Okay,
Saturday.
I looked at the wrong. Yeah,
so
it's
it looks
4
like that
o'clock.
there could potentially be a window, and right there is what you're saying. If from 3:30 is when the rain stops and it comes back in at 7, well, if they first pitch
Squeeze
at 4
it
o'clock,
in,
they go a 3-hour window.
or they just do a doubleheader on Friday. That
Which
also
would make sense.
That also would affect the spring game. Curious what ends up happening there this weekend. It sounded like from listening to Sam Pittman yesterday, they're still going to try and play the game unless it's, again, just too bad where you can't play it of some sort. But we will keep you updated here on ESPN Arkansas at hitthatline.com. Not only what's going to go on air, but obviously what's going to happen with the games themselves with Arkansas baseball and Arkansas football as well. Spring, you're going to hear some stuff. Sam Pittman asked yesterday about guys that could eventually leave Arkansas and hit the portal. Here's what he said to that question.
The ones we're hearing about are not, high on the depth chart. Disgruntled maybe because of where they're at on the depth chart.
Colton, you, I think, read one during the break. Former Parkview two-way player, or plays, I think he played quarterback and maybe a little wide receiver in high school. I'm forgetting his name. You said it.
Quentin Murphy.
Okay, Quentin Murphy.
In-state kid. He was a 3-star recruit. He's basically on campus for enough time to have a cup of coffee and get told that he wouldn't crack any of the top spots in the depth chart. So good luck to the kid.
I in these situations, and I'm speaking from someone that, as you know, didn't play a lick of college football, basketball, baseball, or whatever. I don't know what goes on between an assistant coach and that player in the sense of like, well, coach, I want to play. It's like, well, you're not going to play as a true freshman. Your body's not ready yet. You haven't learned the playbook, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, I'm going to transfer elsewhere and see if I can get out. It's like, why do you think that transferring would help you get on the field somewhere else when you're going to even be behind unless you go down in classification, down in school, whatever? That's, I guess, different. I don't see and maybe I need to look in this more intently. Maybe 24/7 Sports or On3 or Rivals has done better reporting on this. I just don't think it's often, Colton, that a kid ends up transferring up in classification and having a lot more success. In some cases, that does happen. I think the norm is more of kids going down from where they were initially.
Well, I think that we've seen it here at Arkansas, kids transferring up. We've taken, some kids, Texas A&M Commerce's Anthony Armstrong, who turned into our leading wide receiver last year.
That's a great point.
We've taken some kids from smaller schools, but when did those kids come in? I don't remember them being in the spring. A lot of those times it was in the winter. And Coach Pittman talked about this. Right now, during the spring portal window, it's a huge disadvantage to the team because not only do the coaches and, the people that are running the team, not know who's on their roster, neither do the players. The guys that are in there are supposed to be blocking with them, in that foxhole with them. So it's difficult for team camaraderie and for these young guys that, haven't even gotten a chance to really make a contribution to a team yet. What you hope is that the assistant coaches and the position coaches of the world aren't mincing words and letting these kids know, hey, you're not ready for this level of football. If you do transfer, you should transfer down to a lower level and get some repetitions, and then come back and maybe you have a chance to do this here at this school later on. That's what you hope. But Ty, you said it. However many kids are going to be in the transfer portal today, I'm going to say probably 80% of them will have to go down a level from where they want.
Hey, just pulled up the Bet Saracen app, and I was just curious about something. One of the first things that actually pops up is NCAA softball. Listen to this, y'all. Arkansas right now, according to Deifel's squad, is plus 2,000 to win the College World Series. Oklahoma, of course, number 1 at plus 250. So Arkansas ranks within the top 10, I think at number 9 at plus 2,000 along with Oregon. So they're tied at 9 to win the Women's College World Series. Love to see them get to Oklahoma City. So whether it's, you can bet softball, you can bet football. You can bet basketball, baseball, you name it. They have it on the Bet Saracen app. There's parlays. They have it all. And again, there's in-game stuff that you can do in addition to prop bets and everything else on the Bet Saracen app. Download it on Google Play and the Apple Store. It's Arkansas's #1 sports betting app, the Bet Saracen app. It's been a fun-filled What's Your Beef Wednesday, brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market. Shrimp boil, steaks, seafood, you name it, they've got it at Richard's Country Meat Market. Give them a call at 479-443-0000 or swing by just one block east of College and Rolling Hill Drives in Fayetteville. Got a text earlier in the show, did I utilize the grill last night? No, but there's a possibility of us going to doing a cookout at my house this weekend, Dirty Drawers, and so I will have to stop by Richard's and get some supplies for this upcoming weekend, depending on how the rain shakes out. Coming up, Matt Jones, Phil Elson, halftime. They get you ready here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday. We're done. Appreciate Cold Little. I'm Ty Richardson. Everyone have a good rest of your day. We're back tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at